Hi, I'm John,
And I'm Eric.
and we are proud affiliates of the You Run Podcast Network.
Head on over to yourunpodcast.com to check out all of our content, all of our affiliates' content, and so much more.
See y'all there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another riveting edition of Under the Floorboards, where we laugh at the creatures that go bump of the night. I am your host, John, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Eric. How are you this week?
Fabulous.
I know.
As always.
Yeah, as always. That's an inside joke that we'll never say out loud. Unless you're a patron, which you should be.
Yeah.
But this week we're doing a little different because we're starting to get ahead of a lot of things these days. So I don't know who's excited for this year's award show.
I am. Guess why?
Why?
Because I'm making a really long skit that's based on a very popular horror movie and a very rampant problem in the United States right now. And it's going to be full of commentary and humor, and I'm excited.
Very nice,
Yeah.
very nice. I'm very excited to shoot this. Apparently,
Yes.
we will see John's cinematography skills
Yes.
this time around.
Yes.
Very excited for that, and I think I'm just really excited about a lot of these films
Yeah, man.
that are coming out this year. And
Because it seems like indie horror is doing very well.
it seems like we have like don't get me wrong, there have been some really good box office horrors this year so far, between The Monkey did pretty well, Sinners was fucking incredible,
Weapons is killing it from what I understand.
and we will be watching that soon
Yeah.
because at this point I gotta know.
Yeah, right.
It felt like it's like the Sinners effect for me too, where I was like, oh, Sinners looks pretty good, and then the world
God.
and then the world went crazy.
Yeah.
And we've got him coming out as well, the latest from Jordan Peele, which is really really exciting.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, always a pleasure. But yeah, obviously with our award show, we focus on the indie side of things, and the films that we have watched so far this year have been fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. Like fucking crazy. Like you talk about like the fact that I think one of the first ones we did this year was Street Trash.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just really fond of that movie.
yeah, it's just fun, and then like you've got like the amount of face melting effect
Yeah.
that they brought in, and like there's been so much humor this year as well that I've really enjoyed. I mean, obviously you've got like Mark Cantu doing Grind, so bringing that style of comedy to filmmaking, I think, is a really big deal right now. It keeps people entertained. You know?
Yeah. Do you think that what do you think? This is one of those like chicken and the egg questions, right? Do you think that horror movie, especially independent horror movie makers, are realizing that people just want to be entertained and don't necessarily need to see like a cerebral, thought-provoking, I'm going to go home and think about this for 24 hours kind of movie? Or do you think audiences are demanding that because we've been A24 for the last what feels like a decade, and it's just time to get back to like simple entertainment, not simple like unintelligent entertainment, but just like less affected and
Never thought I'd hear this from an Eggers fan.
yeah, well, part of what I'm seeing in cinema right now is we kind of are getting back to shit just being entertaining because it's entertaining. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be fun.
Well, and it does need to tell a good story, and I talk about this all the time, where it's like it really is that story to gravity. You have to have the repercussions of choices that people make, and I feel like that's shown really well this year. And I think, yes, we are getting back to stuff that is just entertaining, but we have like some filmmakers out there that are really kind of putting that balance to it. And I like to think, The House Among the Trees is a really good example of that, because there are a lot of plot points in there that if you're paying attention, they're telling you different stories and different things that are going on. And there's a lot of depth to it. While at the same time, if you're not a person that like really reads into a lot of stuff like that, and you do just want to see something entertaining, it's also fucking hilarious at times.
Yeah.
Like there's like shit that like puts me on the floor. And obviously some of the scenes we can't talk about with a lot of these films, but the amount of times that like a gun jams on somebody, right? Or somebody falls over and it's just fuck.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody last night, like, I think Black Swan's not like a great example for movies that like I really, really enjoy. Like I like the film,
Hmm.
but there's a moment in there, and it's that tension breaking comedy that I think horror does really well. And it's like that scene in the end of Black Swan where like it's this really intense music happening. It's crescendoing as she's walking off stage because she's about to go change into being the Black Swan. And like as soon as that shit hits like its peak, it just stops, and all you hear is "Hey," and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's the dude, the bird costume, just walking
Yeah.
by.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to reality. Yeah, Meat was another good example of kind of towing that line between
Mm.
being like horrifying and gruesome and all kinds of stuff, but also being pure entertainment with lots of jokes and lots of like well-timed things, you know. And it just it works better, I think, when we're not taking ourselves too seriously, you know.
Mhm. And like you're still, and that's the thing, is like that I think that's the important part of what makes the story good, is if you're getting the story across, you're getting the point across,
Yeah.
that's where you really have like your own playground after
Yeah.
that. And I think a lot of indie filmmakers are like really attacking that
I
right
think
now.
so too, and I think like especially me as a viewer, you know, you mentioned me being an Eggers fan, but I kind of am with you on that to a degree too, where I'm sort of like I feel myself evolving a little bit as a viewer and changing how I want to watch movies and why I watch movies, and I'm kind of finding myself like dissatisfied with that director or that writer that does the press interview and they're sitting there kind of twirling their mustache. Well, I want you to take away whatever you take away from it. This is meant to be an experience. This is meant to be something that cultivates, you know, conversation and introspection. And I just like, dude, I've said this before, but sometimes I just want to sit down and watch a movie and not really think too hard about it. You
And also
know?
to me, that's the equivalence of walking into a room, farting, and leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that there is a pretentiousness to that, isn't there? I mean, there is a little bit of a like I'm a little bit more significant than I feel like my audience thinks that I am, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of it does get grating after a while. After like the word choice I used was being A24 for 10 years straight. It you
Right.
know, like The Witch is an incredible movie. The Witch is
It's
also like
gorgeous.
The Witch is also fucking open-ended and like well not open-ended, but it's like meant
Not
to
as much
be
as the lighthouse.
not as much as The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is probably a better example then, but it's yeah, it is one of those things where it's just like, God damn, like let's just murder somebody. You know, let's see some cool practical effects, some entrails spilling out or whatever. Or we, you know, I don't know. Like let's just get there's something
Dirty.
and you're like, and you're just but you're watching those movies because you'll see that movie instead of The Lighthouse, and you're like, see, this is just better, isn't it?
Right.
There's something about that that's just better.
Well, because you had fun. That was
Yeah.
the thing, is like, and that's the interesting part to me, is I don't think movies like that are designed to be fun.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
that getting A24 for the last fucking 10 years.
Mhm.
And what's interesting about that is I've seen A24 put out shit that is funny. Like I watched Y2K
Mhm.
earlier this year, and it was fun. It wasn't my favorite.
Sure.
But I mean, I didn't hate it.
Hmm.
Some of the kids that were in there I thought were fucking hilarious. I liked the premise. It had the dude from Stranger Things that they never called back.
Yeah.
The Hawaiian
Yeah.
guy.
Argyle.
Argyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They had Argyle in that.
Yeah.
And it's like they have the capacity to do that, and I just don't understand why they borderline refuse to
Yeah.
in some aspects,
Yeah. I know because I feel like there's plenty of examples of directors, and well, you were talking about House Among the Trees, where you can be intelligent and subversive without being in your face about it.
Mm-hmm.
Wes Anderson is one that comes to mind for me,
Sure.
where you can like have kind of a verbose script and kind of these high build, high tier actors and things, kind of playing these absurd roles and also inserting a lot of humor into very dark and serious conversations and situations and things like that. And there are ways to be technically intelligent and capable of making things that are interesting and complex isn't really the word I want to use, but I'm going to land on complex as,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm constructing the sentence as I go along without being hoity-toity about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I think like, and we as we've come to find, not necessarily recently, I do understand a lot of people being standoffish from a lot of indie films, because the floor is very low.
Yeah, very low.
Like my 357 looking like lasagna low.
Yeah, I could stand in a puddle of it and not get my feet wet. Low.
Hey guys, I'm John,
And I'm Eric.
and we want to highlight our friends Scott and Mark from the You Run Podcast Network.
You Run Podcast Network has done so much for us and so many other podcasters, YouTubers, and content creators who love movies, music, and shows as much as we do by offering a platform through which we can all grow, share, and interact with a massive audience.
But that's not all. The You Run Podcast is also a self-contained content brand that reviews horror movies and shows too. And don't hesitate to explore their landing page via yourunpodcast.com.
You guys rock.
And that part is unfortunate because I think it gives, you know, that stipulation for a lot of people where, you know, this is shot on a camcorder or something like that, you know, and I think that frustrates a lot of people since filmmaking has come so far. But what I think a lot of people forget in that same aspect is filmmaking has come that far.
Mhm.
So we have independent films like, we haven't seen it yet. I've seen some of the stills and some of the trailer stuff for it, but What's Wrong Wendy is shot on Red Scarlet. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the fucking nicest cameras out there,
Yeah.
and it looks gorgeous. Obviously, that's like post color grading and shit like that, but that's literally any film that you do. And we have so many more passionate filmmakers now that are trying to do it the right way. People
Mhm.
that are not just going to make a movie and then put it out,
Mhm.
right? They're sitting on it, they're editing it, they're trying to, you know, actually make a film that people are going to enjoy and is going to get their story across. And that's a really cool thing to see.
I agree. You see that a lot in the music industry too, where like the evolution of the technology makes it such that not that the Scarlett is a cheap camera,
Right.
because it is not, but the consumer grade stuff is a lot better than what it was in 1995. You know, the
100%.
stuff that you can go to Best Buy or Circuit City if they're still around or whatever and get access to on Amazon or something like that and have it, you know, that kind of shit is getting better. Software is getting better. The stuff that you can do in your bedroom is getting better. And what we have are people that grew up in the 80s, 90s, and early aughts that have loved this for so long that now have big boy and girl jobs and big boy and girl money and can like do what they wanted to do the whole time. You know, it doesn't seem like this thing where you have to invest tens of thousands of dollars in an economy where the minimum wage is 75 cents.
Right.
You know, you can get into it after a year of assembling some pieces and things and go out and start making movies. But what I like about it is the same thing I like about the music industry too. And again, it's that people have grown up so passionate about this industry and about these kinds of, you know, pieces of art and have their opinions about it. And hey, if I was doing this movie, this is what would have done differently. So we're seeing a lot of things, especially in indie horror, that are cool callbacks to the way things used to be in terms of like they're a little bit tropey, they're a little cliche and things of that nature, but they're also very unique and inspired and well constructed and thought out. Like you don't have to have, no disrespect, but you don't have to have like a Sam Raimi working on your film for it to be considered a good horror movie ahead of time. Right.
Yeah.
You can kind of have, oh, it's this dude and he worked with this guy and he did this and that kind of, you know, and as we're getting into the indie horror industry, we see that network, that spider web that happens. And it's like, there are so many talented people that you just don't know their name yet. You know?
Right. And it's really interesting. Like, and let's talk about the talent for a minute, because like, again, like the spider webbing in this has been really crazy. You know, we're actually about to do a lot of the movies. This is crazy. Like I feel like Caitlin Newberry is going to be all over this year's award show because she's in so many of these awesome films that are coming out this year, and she does a great job in the ones that we've seen so far.
You guys want to Flory do a lot of movies with the people that we know.
It's the only way we'll see you. I mean, we say that, but also like, I mean, we went international last year. We've already, we've got one from Australia already this year.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited to show you that one. I think you were going to like that film a lot more than I did. I really enjoyed it.
Street Crash was Australian as well, wasn't it?
I think
or New Zealand, or what was it?
I think that one is actually out of the UK.
The UK. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So actually, yeah, we're still pretty fucking international.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to see these relationships grow and people really like all ships rising with the tide
Mhm,
on this. But um, to see people progress, like seeing Molly Souza in Late Checkout,
mhm,
and Late Checkout's just a fun slasher. There was not really a lot of depth to her character, but we had seen her in a handful of things by this point, and then to see her in Grind and
yeah,
see,
the grind.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We go into Grind, and it's like, well, we loved Wolf Hollow, we love Mark Cantu, and then to see something that we love jump to something else that we love, and knowing that it's going to be good, right? Because you
Mhm,
start having these filmmakers that we follow because we really enjoy their films, and it's nice to see like, oh, I know that this person can act,
mhm.
and I know that this person can make a good film, so we just kind of like,
Yeah. It's a little bit like, I know you're into this like I am, but it's a little bit like being involved in a local music scene, even if you're just a listener,
yeah.
where you have seen this person, they played with these people and they've done this before, and they're good, but to you they're as good as your big hitters, your Taylor Swifts, your things like
Hmm.
that, because you're so familiar with their work and you see a lot of the grassroots level effort that they make. And they're playing in front of 5 people, but they could very well, they're just as good enough to be playing in front of 5,000. A lot of these actors, directors, producers, writers, special effects team, cinematographers, all of that are like that in this particular sphere that we are working with, which is makes our job very easy because
Oh yeah.
because we get to basically just pat people on the back all day long and say good job, and it's not even from like a patronizing or kind of
Or even
standpoint.
bias after
No,
a
it's
while.
not,
It's
because
like,
it's just objectively good shit, and you know what that's like I said, if you've been in a music scene before, how you are like kind of watching your friends get better
mhm.
and ascend a little bit, and there's something that's really fun about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting again, like because honestly, some of my favorite actors, and not all of them are indie actors, but some of my favorite actors I've really seen come through all of this. Like
Mm,
I've watched Caitlin Newberry elevate a film that she was way better than.
mhm,
And I've watched her do really well in really good films as well. But you think about people like Spooky Madison, who is one of the best actors that I've ever spoken to,
mm,
and all honestly, more so even just a creator now of these worlds. If you have a chance, check out Final Ghoul Films on YouTube. Um, our boy Cheney Morrow,
stupid talented too.
he is probably the best actor that or at least one of the best actors I've ever seen. Like his performance in Malum, out of this world. But he is also popping up all over the place between Boy from Below, and Late Checkout. And I mean, he was literally just in a movie with Emily Bett Rickards for Queen of the Ring,
Mm,
and is about to be in another movie with Willa Holland
right.
called The Asylum. And I was like,
Fuck.
dude, my Arrowverse
Fuck.
like
Love me
head
some Willa
canon is
Holland.
going all over the place right now.
Yeah. I thought about this years ago, but I was like, that sucks because I can't marry her because then her name's going to be Willa Williams.
Willow.
So for those of you wondering, that's why it hasn't happened.
His
No,
fans are blowing up right now.
it's just, yeah.
Get off me,
I know.
Willow
Stop.
Willow.
No, we can't do this, Willa Willa. It's like Benya Benya from Gullah Gullah Island. No, it's like, but I know you're listening to this kind of thing and you're thinking, well, he's not exactly Adrian Brody and the pianist, though, is he? And it's like, he kind of is, though. You kind of just haven't seen the right one yet, or you haven't seen the one that we're talking about where he's really elevating his, well, not that he ever has to elevate his performance, but when he gets a script and the director that allows him to be him and kind of,
Mhm.
you know, unequip his tool belt and just go, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah,
He's the dog.
and I'm not gonna say the name of this film because I don't want to make it a deterrent for people. But he was in a movie that I watched recently, and I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy the movie overall.
Yeah.
And he's literally in the last, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes of the film. But as soon as like he walks on, like the coverage, the demeanor, the editing, everything, your idol. And it wasn't even bias. It
Yeah.
was just like the whole demeanor of the movie changed and everything felt awesome while he was on.
As a Rogue One fan, is it similar to the way that Darth Vader shows up at the end of the movie in that hallway and just you see that lightsaber turn on? Oh, boss.
Honestly, it felt more like when Donnie Yen got shot because that.
No.
No, no, I mean that as a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of my favorite scenes in that entire
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Is like when he's like dying in Homeboy's arms, and I was just like, God, Donnie Yen barely speaks English, but
Yeah.
fuck, he can act.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But yeah, and it's getting so expansive too because a lot of these people are so willing to bring other people in and be like, okay, here's your shot, and
Yeah.
it's you're still auditioning for this. Like, yes, there is a level where like game recognized game,
Mhm.
but if it's like you've worked together already and you're friends and all this stuff kind of builds up, that's honestly a better way for us to be like, oh, I know this, this, and this.
Mhm.
Again, that's what makes a good fucking movie because I know these people can write a movie, these people can act. You've got a fucking movie, right?
100%. And every director does that.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
director does that.
Oh, yeah.
Tarantino has his boys and girls. Scorsese has his boys and girls. You know, it doesn't matter what tier you're on. You find people that you fuck with, dude. What's the Chris Nolan is one of the biggest offenders of like recycling the same like 8 people in every one of his movies. Now that's how we ended up with Matt Damon as fucking Odysseus. I have my own opinion, but no, but you're right. It makes it easy because you can do that thing where you have, you know, kind of a trick bag for everybody where you know what they're capable of. And when you start, like, I don't know if I'm sure you do this, but like, I don't know if other viewers do this where you say, I can't wait to see what they're going to do in this movie, just reading like a little description and seeing that they're in it. Right.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, this is a different kind of playground. They got a swing set this, like, you know, and like seeing like where our people are going to go. Cause like you were talking about, like going back to like circling back to Molly and Grind. It's like, we knew she had that in her. We've seen her do that before.
That dog, as it were.
But like seeing that dog come out for many sequences, you know, you're just, see, I knew you could do it. I knew you're fucking awesome. I knew, like, again, not that she wasn't always awesome, but it's incredible watching people do things when they're really flexing their shit.
And the sandbox gets bigger.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the coolest things about indie horror right now is overall, I think that box is getting bigger and things are becoming relatively affordable. But it's one of those things where you also have to balance that with people getting paid what they're worth.
Which is why I'm going to go back one more time and say, I don't know if y'all are ready for a film industry run by Spooky, but that shit's coming.
Dude, I would venture to guess, and this is pure speculation.
Yeah.
I could definitely see in the next 5 years, we've got Final Ghoul Films and Street Rat Studios having their own production warehouse where they're building sets, making shit affordable as far as like sound and camera equipment and stuff like that.
People are going home with the bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I see them conquering Ohio, like and cornering that industry because they're also already so deep into it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for again, like where we have this layover and stuff, the writer director Roger Connors of Meat is also in What's Wrong Wendy, and I don't want to spoil anything. I haven't seen anything that everybody else hasn't on like on Instagram and stuff or like behind the scenes. But do yourself a favor, go to their Instagram page at Final Ghoul Films and just look at some of the effects and the makeup designs and stuff like that for What's Wrong Wendy, and one of them is definitely of Roger, and he looks
man.
That's a man. And he looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Also, can we just like continue to make indie horror gayer?
Yeah.
Like please, because it's
because if no one else is gonna do it,
well, I can't do it. I physically can't make it gayer.
You can't make it straight either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing you, yeah.
But it's also like it's so open, it's so inviting, it's so like, and that's why I just don't understand why people have not been able to get behind this as much. I think it's growing.
Yeah.
I think it's growing a lot, and like I think, guys, like, definitely keep your ear to the ground whenever, like, in your area. You'd be surprised about what pops up and what
Mhm.
people are making. In November, we'll be doing a Q&A for The Last Footprint for Jake Robinson, great filmmaker,
Mhm.
and he lives like an hour and a half from us.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's and honestly, last year's Golden Floorboard, right? With Paternoster and the Mission of Light, also just lives in South Carolina,
Mhm.
and he did screenings all over the place. And it's like, if you missed out on that, it's like you're missing out on these experiences. And a lot of the times, you'll have like cast, crew, writer, director, whatever. Go meet these people,
Yeah.
because like, if you walk out of there being like, damn, that was really fucking good.
Mhm.
Oh, now I get to meet you. This is really fucking cool. Tell me what the difference is between that and then going to see Sinners,
Yeah.
and Michael B. Jordan is standing outside,
Yeah,
and you
right.
get to meet him,
100%.
because they're still just people that are making awesome shit that you have the opportunity. And that's what I'm saying, is those
Yeah.
opportunities actually present themselves.
Well, and the only reason it would ever feel more significant with Michael B. Jordan is because you've seen them in other stuff before. You've seen Michael B.
Right.
Jordan in other stuff before. You don't know Michael B. Jordan any better than you do Spooky Madison. You know what I mean?
Yet.
The difference is, yet, but like you're saying, the difference is like, if you're curious about it, like it's also just the most welcoming. Like, I mean, obviously, like, don't be a weirdo, but like it's the most like, yeah, what's up? No, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, that kind of, yeah. What did you think about this, that, and then you have a conversation. And the conventions are great for that. But like
Mhm.
you're saying, at the end of a premiere and stuff, these people are just hanging out because they're not Michael B. Jordan yet.
Right.
you know but it's just like you're saying, they're humans, man, and they are ultimately making something that they want people to enjoy. So nothing makes them feel better than telling them in person after shaking their hand that you enjoyed what they made for you. That's really sweet if you think about it.
It's the
It's
equivalence of someone wanting you to put their picture up on the fucking fridge.
yeah, yeah. It's inherently gay. It's
Well, and that's the thing too, man, is like, they are, first of all, grateful that you showed up.
yeah.
And I think with a lot of these newer films, that level of nuance is kind of fleeting,
Mhm.
because like, again, you're not going to have Michael B. Jordan outside of seeing Sinners. You're not going to have Tom Holland outside of Spider-Man and shit like that. And they have like these coveted red carpet premieres where it's just like the super wealthy elite demagogues get to all gather to watch a movie that they don't even fucking care about
Mhm.
half the time. And it shows in a lot of these films too, like Madam Web, for example.
Mhm.
We knew that it was going to be bad because Dakota Johnson didn't care about
Could
it.
not give two shits about it. And I know that's her.
Why?
I know that's her
Why?
personality because I'm a huge fan of Dakota Johnson, and I've seen her do that interview 100 times. That's how I know she could not give two shits about Madam Web.
She's a great
Yeah,
interviewee
yeah,
from what I've watched. She
yeah.
she is so goddamn
I
funny.
liked her on Hot Ones when she was like something about superheroes. She's like, "Well, I tried the superhero thing; it didn't work out." Well, there's
Tried
something,
that,
yeah,
didn't work.
maybe
Like,
something
breaks
to
the
that.
fourth
Yeah,
wall.
exactly. Exactly. But yeah, man, I think that like this industry gets better when people participate in it. It's not one of those things that's close to being self-sustaining yet,
Yeah.
where we have enough people that are going to keep making these movies money and keep making these directors, actresses, and everybody money and shit. So you have to keep showing up if you like this stuff. Like
Hmm.
you have to keep. I know it's tough asking people to spend money on shit in the economy the way the world is right now, but like you have to go to the conventions, you have to go, dude, even if it's just something as simple as sending somebody like $2 on a Indiegogo or something like that, that goes so far and it
Hmm.
helps people out so much more than it seems like it does. But the support, the community aspect of it is what continues to drive it. And it's a lot of the reason why I think that any movies are getting better as a whole, not even just
Hmm.
horror, but independent movies in general are getting better because there's so much love for this. Because again, we've been getting A24 for a decade, and people, I think people just like the smaller scale entertaining stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, as that continues to grow and people get more resources because they are making more movies, so they are making more money in the long run,
Yeah.
that's when you start to see this expansion of, like, they're like, honestly, Blood Gorge is
Mm.
an incredible example of this. They made Blood Gorge for like nothing.
Mhm.
They actually, I think, spent less money than I did making my short film.
Mhm.
And that's crazy. But they assembled a team. They made their own Avengers of people that are like, if we work hard at this and we pour ourselves into it, we're going to make something fucking incredible. Hellmare, their first feature film, is coming out hopefully soon. I know it's in the editing stages. They just finished their pickup shots and all of that kind of stuff. And if it's even half as good as Blood Gorge, they are going to crush. They're absolutely going to crush. And again, it starts with like, and you know, it's a free thing to do. If you like something, just tell somebody about it. You know, um, and I know like um, every influencer, every fucking podcaster, whatever you want to call everybody, always says the like, comment, share, subscribe. It's because those are all free ways to help it, because like a
Exactly.
lot of these people, yes, they're asking for money on like their Indiegogo if you want to be a part of the project, if it's
Mhm.
something that you believe in. And I've, donated to some Indiegogos because
Sure.
I believe in those projects and I want to see them come to fruition.
Mhm.
And if you can't do that, that's okay.
You can, it's free to share something. It's free to put something on your Instagram story, tag somebody in something, tell your friends, hey, check this trailer out, whatever.
And if
you
they
know
see that and they were like, that's awesome, I want to donate, that's the same as you donating, bro.
you have to participate in it if you want to see it continue to grow.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. And like, I'm so tired of mainstream movies. Like,
yeah.
there's some that are great and a lot of them I don't think are. And I
Mhm.
think we're allowing this community to be gate kept by Hollywood, which is
Mhm.
mostly sacrificing babies to the devil so that they live forever at this
Mhm.
point, or whatever Joe Rogan said.
Yeah.
But sucking the Marlocks out of his spine.
Not as many chlorians.
Mitochlorians.
Do you think Joe Rogan or JD Vance has more midichlorians?
Well, I don't think either. I don't think JD Vance can get an erection.
You don't. Horse sensitivity is dependent on like you
The
know
radar just popping up.
that implies that there are blue pills in Star Wars that help people get their force. That's a conversation for a different day. I'm really into that as a spinoff. Yeah,
I am one with the Force. The Force is one with me.
because it's Spaceballs when the lightsaber. It's like
Wonk. That's
anyway.
that's still one of my favorite things, that like the original title for the sequel to Spaceballs was supposed to be Spaceballs 2: A Quest for More Money.
Yeah,
And that's like the most
yeah,
Mel Brooks shit.
exactly.
Well, on that note, let's talk a little bit about the award show
Yeah.
before we get off here. This year is going to be so difficult because, like, we've still got stuff coming in, and guys, it's all bangers
Mhm.
for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I've been hurt before.
But luckily, there's so many bangers that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. We can still fill these categories with these movies that we
We
have, and we're not even done with the movies yet.
Yeah, so we are probably going to spend September arguing.
Christian McCaffrey is a valid number one running back.
Oh, I can't wait for this fantasy
Oh, I
league.
know. It's going to be so awesome. Some dumbass. But no, seriously though, the movies have been incredible. I mean, like I remember like a conversation we had a couple weeks ago where I came out, I was like, dude, I just can't remember like if we've had enough good movies. And you're like, oh, really? And you're like, United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominica, like doing the whole thing. I was like, God damn, this is gonna be a long one too. And we're trying to like, there's like what's the music situation like right now? Hey, we have anything we want to talk about? We can cut this, or you can cut this. I don't know if you want to.
I'm not gonna lie. I love it when you say that we can edit this out.
I
That's
say
all.
that
That's
because
all.
I'm addressing the audience like a mother father kind of situation.
Don't worry. We won't yell in front of you
Yeah,
guys.
I don't work as hard as dad, but we are a unit.
Um, right now I am still in hopes.
Ooh,
Yeah,
y'all ain't ready.
uh,
Y'all ain't
I would
ready.
say I don't want to get anybody's hopes up.
Your hopes are up.
Yeah, right. Oh, something up. Um, but it's going to be one of those things where if this next set of tours does go through, it's going to be a no, which
Yeah.
I understand, and I'm very happy for this person. What I will say is, if it does happen, it's going to be somebody who is actually in one of these films.
Yeah.
That will be coming out this year, and that's all I'm going to say about it. If not, I do have some local bands that are interested in it, and I would love to get them on as well, just because it would be a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll see on that. We will see.
Cool. I just wanted to get a little breadcrumb out there, a little, little,
Yeah.
little taster. What else you got for him? What else you want to share?
Let's see.
Pineapples are back.
Pineapples are back. Remember, there are always two pineapples.
Yep.
um. Oh. Also notably, we are. I've read some of his sketch so far, and I don't know if there's going to be recompense, and I'm going to be the one getting sodomized this time. But I'm sure there will also be some level of sodomy.
Always.
Is it Sada you or Sada me?
Sada us.
Sodus.
It's a Sada 9.
Still waiting to hear back from some people from the sketch. And hopefully we can get them in here as well. We'll actually have ideally 3 this year. We'll have our intro as usual, and then we'll have a sketch from each of us. Do we want to say?
I'm willing to talk about mine if you're willing to talk about yours.
All I was gonna say was what the spoof was.
Okay.
I don't want to give away too much. Mine is relatively short. I got to give him some more space since he wants to do like a fucking.
It's not going to be 10 minutes long. I can't. I'm going to use the word I this time. Yeah, I can't feasibly make this work with my budget. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, well, yeah. So mine is going to be Psycho.
Yeah.
Which I'm very excited for.
And I am doing a riff off of Sinners.
The only thing I will say about mine is that I will be in a dress.
Yeah. The only thing that I will say about mine is that John will be in a dress.
It's in my Forzen.
It's in the Forzen.
And I guess lastly, I mean, if you guys want to support us monetarily, all it does is make our shit better. So pretty much everything has gone back into the show.
There's also a 33% chance that it ends up in some independent horror films and he goes. Sometimes there's this thing that happens where one of the perks is something that he and I would both enjoy to do together. And so we just donate your money to that because we feel like you'd be okay with that. And we really like toy lunchboxes.
Oh, actually, do you want to show off? Yeah. So Eric unfortunately could not make it to the grind premiere, though we did see it. Obviously, we have a pre-screener episode you should check out. But it's the McQueen. Shout out to the gangster himself, Wes Brantley, also known as Brian Saponis.
We love his wife.
I know I do.
She wouldn't talk to me. She was enamored by John, though.
Well, I think you were being enamored by one Lynn Lowry.
I was going to say I wasn't exactly doing poorly that evening, as far as dimes are concerned.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna not be at the hotel room later.
There was legitimately a moment where John like looks at me. He's like, he's actually going to fuck Lynn Lowry. But I never have sex with women who are drunk. Never. Because that's what heroes do.
Or don't.
Or don't do.
Yeah, I
No,
guess so.
let it hang a little longer.
Yeah.
Let it hang.
The hero's gaze is crazy.
I feel like uh Dave Chappelle as Prince when Charlie Murphy dissed him. Just that, like, Prince had this look in his eye. No, it was fine. But anyway, thank you for the poster. Also, shout out to Sean for acquiring that with his raffle tickets.
I would say realistically, he was just made out pretty well.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be hilarious if if he didn't get one.
Yeah. And Jay did.
Well, Jay got one and he only put in 2 tickets. Mark was so funny too because Jay was like, because Jay didn't have cash and his Cash App couldn't work, and I was like, that's fine, I'll just get your shit and you can pay me back or whatever later.
I think I'm going to get this part made into a play mat. Just that section right there.
That's fucking incredible.
That's the move.
Dude, the best part was like at the grind premiere, fucking Brian Sabonis had a cigar in his mouth the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
so he'd be talking to you, but his cigar. Oh, dude, I didn't tell you this.
A little lore. Can we get some lore?
Or not even about, it's not even about Brian.
Oh.
But it is about the grind premiere. Just a little quick story. So Ginger Lynn Allen showed up because obviously she's a character in the film, and also she is doing a lot in the indie horror world between like Murdercise and slash Lorette Party, also with Molly Souza and such. And it was so funny when I walked up to meet her. I had like a double Tito's and soda, and we got there early. I was doing jello shots with one of the actors earlier. And I walk up to her and I'm like, "Hey, it's really nice to meet you. I really love your work. Like, like, again, I'd love to talk to you sometime, doing the networking thing." And, we're talking for a minute and she like looks at my cup and she just goes, "Is that water?" And I was like, "No." She just goes, "I am so thirsty. Do you mind? My mouth is just like," and I was like, "Yeah." And I handed it to her and she took a sip out of it. And she was like, "Oh my God, that's so much better." I was like, "Yeah, the Tito's does a lot of the lifting on that." Oh, also, lastly, you'll find this funny. So the thing that happened last time when we went to Wolf Hollow and I turned around to open the door and it was for Lynn Lowry. Um, I did the same thing for Heather Rizzo.
Nice.
Like, I turn around and she's like walking through the door, and I was like, "Oh."
Because that's what heroes do.
That is what heroes do. And it was so funny. So I was like, God, this is gonna be, because I'm always standing by the door.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm afraid.
Got to plan your way out in case shit goes sideways.
Yeah, exactly. Also shout out to Dan. It was great seeing you. Can't wait to.
Oh, it was so nice to see you too.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you
I'm
came.
so glad you came.
I love that man so much.
I would like to hear him like narrate like
A children's book.
like Good Night Moon or something like that. You know what I mean? Stella Luna, the Big Red Barn,
Pop on pop.
Pop on Pop. I do not like them, Sam. I am.
It's weirdly soothing.
It is.
Oh man. Well, guys, make sure you turn in.
Turd in.
Turn in for what? But seriously, make sure you check out this year's Indie Horror Award show. It's gonna be an absolute fucking blast. Incredible films, more trailers, more pineapples, more butt stuff, more Forzen.
Harder, better, faster, and stronger.
Do it better. Makes us harder.
I'm gonna stop beatboxing in your ear now.
Well, I will say before we go, Eric, what are you most excited about for indie horror this year?
Just more dope shit. Are you talking about like a specific title, or are you talking
Is
about
there
like
is there a title that you have in mind?
no? Because I'm really happy for everybody, and I'm really enjoying everything that's been coming out, and I just want more. Just don't stop doing what you're doing. There are people that love you and people that love it, and are very much enjoying what you put out there.
And I think that's the best note that we could be leaving off
Yeah.
on. So thank you guys for joining us once again at Under the Floorboards, where it creaks, it cracks, and we laugh at the creatures that go bump in the night. Good night, everybody.